Alright guys, it's Monday evening. I've already quit for the night, had a shower, had dinner, and I'm pretty much done. I just wanted to give you a rundown of this. I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone earlier about these clips. I did not mention in that video I did yesterday that these clips that I used on my transmission cooler lines are actually for spark plug wires. So these are spark plug wire separators. If you go to Jegs or Summit looking for them, you're not going to find them as transmission coolant line separators. I do not know the name brand. It has a T and it has an 8, and the 8 I'm sure is for 8mm, but I've just always used them for transmission lines. This is my crossbar that my finned cooler goes to. I did get a piece of pipe welded in and ground, and that is for basically just a clearance for that one line. Show you my exhaust brackets I made. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I don't like them. It's just too intricate. It's kind of goofy looking. It works, and it's gonna work, and I'm rolling with it. I'm just gonna finish weld these bars in, and I'm done. I was trying to think of, build something really cool and neat, and it just, nothing was giving it enough support, and it was, yeah, I spent 3 days messing with stuff. One of the things was a 1/4-inch piece of square stainless plate, and I was going to make a teardrop hole saw at the size of the muffler to slide it on. I was going to have it welded and then drill a hole in the top and put a cushion with a bolt through the top of the frame. And the hole saw I used on it, I didn't even get a third of the way through it, and it just tore that hole saw all up trying to drill that stainless out. Stainless is just too hard to do. So I abandoned that idea, and then I built another hanger system, and I didn't like it, so I just went with this. It'll work. Once everything's all detailed out and painted, I think it'll be all right. I did a center in a chassis on a 55 a few years ago, just like this, and I did this square bar across here, a little small one, but I just had a hole drilled in it. It had I think it was a 1/4x20 nut bolt in there, with the old school style drop down rubber, that goes under the muffler clamp. So it allowed it to move around a little bit, so when you'd hit a bump or go around a corner of the case, it hit the frame. So this time I wanted a dual hanger system, so that's how I come up with this. I welded some L brackets in here and ground it smooth, and I shaped the brackets to where they're round like the cushions, and so it'll look good. I'll fully weld this all the way around and go back and grind it, and then put a little filler on my finger and go around them, and it'll all be painted. I just don't like the little tubing on here because it kind of breaks up the line of the frame. But after it's all painted black and done, who cares? I'm over it, man. I spent too much time messing with this crap already. I got the rear deals all hole sawed out and the pipe pieces cut and put in. I do have this side fully welded and ground. It's because I was putting these in. I wanted this done so I didn't lock myself in a corner and not be able to get down in there with the grinder, which I'd have had enough room, but the other side is just tacked, so they need fully welded and finished ground. Show you this bracket system over here. I only have one U-bolt here, so I had to use it from both sides for mock-up. So the U-bolt is actually on that side right now, but this is a piece of angle, and that's pretty much how I cut it. Rounded it out, so the cushions look like they're made for it. But it pretty much, goes like that. And then the U-bolt, the muffler clamp, comes up, and then that piece of the U-bolt goes on there that has the flat side, and then the studs go there. So that piece that goes on the other side of the clamp is sandwiched under there. And then it just bolts on, and the two cushions, it'll give it enough little wiggle, so it can still flex when the engine's revving or moving or vibrating around, but it's not enough that it's going to be banging and clanging on stuff. I will have some turn downs coming out of this, but I'm going to have muffler clamps at 2 on each muffler. I do have stainless ones. They just haven't come in from Summit yet, but all I have is the steel one, so I used it for mock-up. Let's see, I still got to finish my front passages also. This is the only one that is pretty much ground. I still have a little bit more spot welding to do to fill some spots that I missed, and then go back and regrind again. The other one needs fully welded and ground. And the other side, I think I've got like 4 tacks on it. So there's still lots of welding and grinding to do, but not a lot. I think one more day and I'll have the chassis pretty much ready for filler. I had to get pretty creative on my exhaust here because this header kind of kicks out at an angle away from the filter, so I actually had to cut the collector, and then I cut pie cut a piece of stainless mandrel U-bend, and I got it the way I needed it. Anyway, I'll show you the other side. It has rained almost all day, and I got holes in my seal down there, so I'm getting all these worms climbing in here, I guess, to get out of the rain. I've already stepped on one, so I gotta kind of walk lightly. That's kind of weird. I guess they're getting out of the rain. This is what I did on this one. I know it looks kind of crazy, but after I grind it, I think it'll look pretty good. I got it all tacked up here with my MIG. I don't have any stainless wire, but I'm going to grind my little tacks down pretty far, and then I'm going to take these sections to the muffler shop and have these stainless MIG welded. And then I'm going to go back and grind and sand and polish all this so it'll look like one piece. It's going to be a lot of work, but it'll be worth it in the end. This side I had to get real creative because the header actually went down further than the crossover piece I made for the chassis center, so it kind of goes down and then kicks back around. So that was like trying to do Legos, man. I had a lot of trouble with that, but it'll look good when it's finished welded and ground, I think. But anyway, oh man, what else? I did a ground. I got my shock ears done. I did a ground here from my battery cable ground. I used a step bit and went into the frame, and you know that as your step bit goes in and then you got your next size, it kind of chamfered that hole just about halfway, and I used a shouldered nut, and it actually fit down in there and just set in place. And I just welded it up and then ground it. So now I have a nut welded in the frame for my ground. I will use a star washer on it so it'll get a good, you know, bite all the way around into metal. But on my 55s before, I've done trunk mount batteries. I always drill a hole in the body mount here and have a nut and a bolt. So now I don't have to get under here with a wrench and a ratchet. All I need is a ratchet. Yeah, it only took like 5 minutes to do that, so I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, I got to give props to the old Jegs house brand plasma cutter. That thing is $2.99, and it was well worth the money. That thing is smooth. It's quiet. Look up the specs on it because I don't remember how thick a metal. I want to say it's 3/8, but I'm not sure. But it cut some big thick pieces of pipe that I use for my passages really easy. And I thought it was 115 volt. It's actually a 230, but it did come with an adapter to knock it down to 115. But I just went ahead and unplugged my welder and plugged it into that. But I freaking love it. I did order an extra tip and a cup set when I bought the machine, just in case they discontinue it. I wouldn't be out. And then when I pulled it out of the box to assemble it, the gun was already together, and it came with an extra cup and a tip. So now I have 2 extras. But anyway, guys, I don't know if it's still $2.99. I don't know if it was on sale when I got it, but man, I freaking love that thing. It's a cut 40, and I've never owned one myself, but I've used about 5 plasma cutters, and they've always spit and shot and been loud and just crappy to use. And this thing just beats the shit out of them, man. A neat feature it has, and it may be on newer plasma cutters, but you know, all the ones I've ever used have just been old pieces of junk. But when you let off the trigger on this, the air keeps blowing out for like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. And I think it's to cool the tip off so it doesn't just melt itself down. And I think that's kind of cool. It may be the way most of them are nowadays, but you know, like all of them I've used have just been some old machines, you know. But anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a night, and you might go to Jegs and get you a plasma for, you know, $2.99. Hell, you can't beat that, especially for a garage builder.